My dog was about to knock over the camera. I don't remember where I put those potatoes. I joke. What? Don't knock my camera. Okay, these next couple of days we don't have Airbnb guests downstairs, so I want to try and get a lot done in the garden. One of the things that I need to like work on getting over is I get so anxious. I don't want to do things in the garden when we have guests around. I just don't want to disturb them. Sometimes it can be jarring if you all of a sudden see somebody so close to your window. Like, I probably don't mind going out further, but the area where I'm trying to plant my shade garden, that's like right in front of the bedroom window for our Airbnb downstairs. So I never want to even just like walk by there. One time I was harvesting flowers from everywhere in the garden this past summer, and then I went to right in front of that window. I wanted to get some eryngium. I was making bouquets to sell at Blue Market at AK, so I just wanted to get everything done pretty quickly. It takes me a while to put the bouquets together and then to wrap them. So I just wanted to like quickly do everything. Usually during the day, guests leave. I mean, of course, they can do whatever they want. They should really just like treat it as if it's their own home while they're here, while they have it booked. But for some reason I thought maybe they were out. I think it was just like really quiet. I don't know why I thought that. It was an assumption I shouldn't have made. And then I went to cut some eryngium, so I had like scissors. Thankfully I did have buckets of flour that might have clued as to why I was there. And the curtains were drawn, they were closed, but you can see like shadows from the other side. It's not like a fully like opaque curtain. Yeah, I was like going down to cut some eryngium, and all of a sudden the curtain swings open and there's like a kid just like so surprised and taken aback. And I was so surprised and taken aback. I never ended up cutting that eryngium. I think I mouthed like, oh, sorry. Because it's so creepy. I would be so creeped out if that happened to me. What am I saying? So normally I don't like go in that area when we have guests, but today, yeah, next couple of days guest free. I'm gonna work on cleaning that up a lot. The first thing I needed to do was move this compost bin with a huge volunteer potato plant growing in it. I cut the foliage off and then started dismantling it. And ta-da! I found potatoes. These are King Edward potatoes, which I think are delicious. They're my favorite kind to grow. I think they are. I haven't grown like too many different kinds, but they're a more waxy texture as opposed to the more grainy kinds, which maybe some people like to use that grainy texture for like mashed potatoes or something, but I like this waxy potato that you can like boil and it has that nice texture to it. And spoiler alert, it's a few weeks later now and I lost those potatoes. Like, I literally lost them. I don't remember where I put them. And then we ended up going on a trip for a few days. And then when I got back, I just started thinking about what I wanted to do with them, and then I looked for it and I couldn't find it. I can't find the bowl that they're in either. I just don't know. Maybe they're gonna turn up eventually, but it's a bit of a bummer, but also they were kind of free potatoes. I didn't intentionally grow them, so they were just like a nice thing that happened in that compost. Also, I guess it means that the compost wasn't working super well, because compost is supposed to get hot as it breaks things down, and it obviously wasn't hot enough to like kill that potato. It's supposed to get really hot if it's really working well. Anyway, composting is something that, you know, in the future I'll get better at it, but not now. I don't want to deal with it right now. So with that bin gone, I then spread out the remaining compost that was there. I tried to move a bunch of it, but then just figured, whatever, it'll be fine in this bed. The compost wasn't very finished. It was mostly old potting mix from old containers, so there were a bunch of roots in it that still weren't, you know, broken down. There were wood chips, random vegetable chunks in there, but hopefully it'll all break down soon, or else I'll just find something else to mulch it with. Maybe I don't even need to mulch. I don't personally care if there's like chunks of things in the ground over there. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad, and I guess I'll just see in the spring. So I already planted a few shade perennials down there, and I have some more that I got. I've actually been keeping them for way too long. I always do this when I get like new plants, and then I just like don't end up planting them soon. And these I specifically wanted to plant immediately because I want them to get established before it gets too cold. It's still like the end of September, so they'll have maybe like half a month before it starts getting to like freezing at night. Hopefully that's enough. These are like winter hardy. It's just, you know, you want them to grow some roots before the winter. I don't know how well it'll do, but you know, hopefully they'll still survive at least. So I have a heuchera here. I think this is a timeless night heuchera, and this I think is a ivory prince hellebore. Oh no, this one is a pink frost hellebore, or they're also called Lenten roses. They're great if you live in a cold environment. They provide a lot of interest through the year. If it gets too hot, they don't look so great, at least in my opinion, or in my experience having them. I have a few hellebore out front. Really good for shade. They have like gorgeous flowers that are hardy too. Like those flowers survive a frost, so they're great. In a lot of places they bloom like during the winter. Here they bloom like early spring, and in the fall now my plants have color or have flowers on them. And heuchera is a great foliage. It also produced some spiky like floral stems, like a spike with a bunch of small flowers on it. And then I have two other hellebores. Dang, I thought I got more ivory prince hellebores, but it looks like I have 3 pink frost hellebores. And these are all shade perennials. So I'm gonna get them planted in that shade area. It'll have, like, I want something that's gonna provide different colors, different textures to that area, and also maybe flowers to make it look pretty. Again, because it's so close to that window, it's like right there in front of it. I want the guests to have something really pretty to look at. It is in front of our shed that we're turning into a greenhouse right now. It's not done, but I didn't want to wait any longer because we've had a bit of a hard time. I mean, we've gotten a decent amount of progress on it. Yeah, the roof is almost done. Like, it's pretty much done. We just have some little details to do. So I'm thinking that side will be okay for me to plant now. We're not really going to touch it too much this year for the rest of the season before winter. I'm going to try and finish that area. So I laid out the plants how I wanted to get them in the ground. I wasn't really looking for much here, just that it didn't look horrible. They're all pretty low plants, like they're not very tall. And I wasn't too concerned with like the color structure. I think I do have a good variety of color in this bed. We'll see when things start to flower, and then maybe I can rearrange things or add more or take away some things that maybe don't work so well there. But I think it's gonna be fine. I don't anticipate that happening. All of the perennials I ordered from Bluestone Perennials have come in this coco coir pot, like 4-inch coco coir pot. And the planting directions that come with the orders say you can just plop the whole thing in the ground, like with that coco coir pot. But I wanted to take them off this time to see if they grow and spread faster. You can see a lot of the roots already growing through the coco coir strands on the bottom, which is great to see because I did plant a few perennials last year, pot and all, in the ground. Some other things I need to get in the ground this fall before everything freezes are I've got some tulip bulbs that I got from Costco a while ago. Again, I don't know if they're still good. I had some iris rhizomes that I put in the ground too. They're not looking great. They kind of just like dried out and got like too hot and dry, just staying in their bag in the heat. So I put the tulip bulbs out after I saw how bad the iris rhizomes looked. But I don't know if it's any better. Actually, let me open it now before I go out there and try and plant it. I have to clear one of the raised beds in the back for it. Originally, I was also thinking of putting the tulips in the front yard, but I don't know about that. I was gonna make some raised beds for the front yard, but the raised bed that I did get around to making, it's gonna stay in the back. Oh, actually, most of these tulips look great. Yeah, it looks just fine to me. This is it. These are the colors. It's called a red sangria mix. It's the Longfield Gardens things that they have at Costco. And there's about 50 bulbs in here. So that's what I have as my goal to do in the next couple of hours before I take a break. I have to set these little goals for myself just to like get through them. And I can't make them too big because then I feel like a failure if I don't get through everything. So the tulips are in. I have like a flower bed border that I'm thinking of putting there in that shade garden bed that I was working on. It's like this resin, I don't know, like this tall sort of flexible border that I think you just hammer into the ground and it just keeps the grass out, really. It's a few weeks later and I haven't gotten to many of the chores that I need to do outside. So I don't know if I'm gonna get that done in time. There are a few other things that are higher up on the priority list. Hopefully I'll get some work on it this weekend. But I'm really excited to have that shade garden planted. Nice to move that compost, which looked very messy for a long time. Kind of move that away. I put that compost bin next to my other like wooden pallet compost so that they're all just in the same area. That's next to the sauna. It's on the other side of the garden. And I'm just super excited for those shade plants to grow, for those perennials to like take up more space and start to fill in and make that spot look a lot nicer. Also to give me an idea if I need to add any more plants to that area.
Talk to yourself again?
I'm talking to myself. Yeah, just leave me and my delusions alone. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.